In April 1945, a German U-boat was destroyed by its own toilet. This is in the official records of the German Navy. Not a torpedo, not a depth charge, a toilet. And the man who flushed it may have been the captain himself. Welcome to the Peculiar Gazette. Today's issue: U-1206, the submarine that sank because somebody turned the wrong valve. To understand this disaster, you need to understand a genuinely awkward problem of submarine warfare: plumbing. A submarine is a steel tube full of men, sealed underwater for weeks. Every system has to fight the pressure of the sea. Early U-boats could only flush their toilets near the surface, where the outside pressure was low. Dive deeper, and the ocean simply pushed everything back in. So the crews used buckets, cans, anything with a lid, for weeks at a time, in a sealed tube. You can imagine the atmosphere on board. So German engineers built something new for the late war boats: a high-pressure toilet that could flush at depth. It was a marvel. It was also absurdly complicated, a sequence of valves and chambers that had to be worked in exactly the right order. Get the order right, and your business was blasted triumphantly into the North Sea. Get it wrong, and the North Sea came to you. The system was so tricky that crews included specialists, men trained specifically to operate the toilet. Imagine surviving the war and telling people your job title. Enter U-1206, a brand new boat on her very first combat patrol in April 1945. Her captain, Karl-Adolf Schlitt, 27 years old, also on his first combat command. On April the 14th, the boat was creeping along the coast of Scotland, about 60 metres down, hunting British ships. And somewhere in the forward compartment, someone needed the toilet. Here the record gets wonderfully diplomatic. Schlitt himself always insisted a mechanic was to blame. But the story told ever since, and never quite shaken off, is that the captain tried to work the wonder toilet himself. Without calling the specialist, a valve was turned in the wrong order. Then, helpfully, another one. The sea, which had been waiting patiently outside for exactly this moment, accepted the invitation. Water poured down into the compartment below, which happened to hold the submarine's giant batteries. Seawater plus battery acid makes chlorine gas. Poison was now filling the boat. Schlitt had no choice. 60 meters under a sea patrolled by the Royal Air Force, he gave the order: surface, immediately. U-1206 burst into daylight within sight of the Scottish coast and directly into view of British aircraft. The bombs came down. The boat was crippled. Schlitt ordered her scuttled, sunk by her own crew. The men took to rafts. Most were rescued or captured. 3 were lost to the sea. The absurdity did have a price, and so U-1206 became the only warship in history recorded as lost to a chain of events that began with its own toilet. One flush, one wrong valve, one brand new submarine on the seabed off Scotland. 3 weeks before the war in Europe ended. She is still there, by the way. Divers found the wreck decades later, exactly where the paperwork said she would be. Captain Schlitt survived the war and lived into old age, forever attached to history's most embarrassing maritime loss. The lesson of this issue, dear reader: read the manual, or at the very least, wake the specialist. That's this week's issue of the Gazette. Next issue: the novel that described the sinking of the Titanic, published 14 years before the Titanic was built.